Before we begin, if you like what you see in this video, please subscribe, because I make loads and loads of videos just like it, and I'm sure if you like this video, you'll love all the other ones I do. It's free, it's good for you, it's good for me. Just subscribe. The manga starts at the end of somebody else's manga. After 6 seasons of will they, won't they finally get their happily ever after. Fuko, the main girl, however, is not interested in their story. She appeared in season 1, episode 2, and disappeared when she realised how long this thing was going to be. She realised nothing was happening for 6 seasons and decided, I'll come back at the end. And she did come back just in time to be invited to the wedding. At this wedding, she doesn't really care what's going on. She's more interested in her beef. Even as her friends like, Fuko, look, the bride's coming. She's like, try this beef. We then go to the after party where this same friend is like, Fuko, when are you going to get a man? When are you going to go get a boyfriend? And Fuko, shockingly to everyone, including me, she sees the prettiest girl in the room, walks over to her, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be sort of a great romance. But no, she just asks where she got her sushi from. This girl, however, does come back later on. But I thought she was going to be the main love interest, but I was totally wrong, because the main love interest just gets introduced. She wins a rice cooker in a game of bingo, and it is love at first sight. Anyway, a few days later, her new lover arrives to move in with her, and Fuko talks about all the amazing meals she's going to cook with him, and then the first one she messes up, because she forgot to, like, put the rice in separately, so it's ruined, so she can only eat the main thing and not the rice, which she was hyped for. She's kind of sad she can't eat the rice, but it's fine. She's like, next day, tomorrow is a new day, everything's gonna be fine. The next day was not fine. She made everything perfectly, but she messed up a different thing this time. She messed up the ingredient stuff. She didn't have any rice, so she just used spaghetti, because it's basically the same thing, only rice comes from the ground and spaghetti grows on trees. Anyway, Fuko casually commits a war crime on the entire nation of Italy before making her dinner and just going to bed. But the next day, again, she swears will be different. She's going to make everything perfectly, can have all the ingredients, and it's going to be the best meal ever. So the next morning, she goes to the supermarket and is so weird that a member of staff is like, Miss, please stop hugging the rice. And Fuko just shrugs her off, simply asking if she can have more time with the bag of rice that she's currently hugging. I think this worker probably quit after this. Anyways, Fuko leaves the store, and on her way home, she runs into Sushi Lady. And I'm not pulling your leg. That's her name. That's the only information we ever get. Sushi Lady. That's it. No real name. And she's like one of the main characters. Anyway, I still believe she could have been a love interest, and the writer just changed his mind halfway through. Because Fuko thinks Sushi Lady is amazing. She thinks she's so beautiful, so elegant, so just amazing, and she shows this by panicking and running away as soon as she feels a little bit embarrassed. Once she gets home, she makes dinner with the rice this time, is super happy, loves it, and then there's a knock on the door, and it's Sushi Lady. She just moved in next door, and then they talk for a little bit, and then she's like, Fuko, maybe you want to cover your belly or you'll catch a cold. But that's not what Fuko heard. Fuko heard, put that fat belly away, you fat ugly troll. So she gets sad and slams the door. Then the next day, the two of them bump into each other again, and Sushi Lady gives Fuko a piece of corn because she has like an entire field's worth. And to thank her for this corn, Fuko invites her inside, but she has to wait outside for 15 minutes while Fuko frantically cleans, because she doesn't want a pretty girl seeing her very, very messy room. And word of advice, boys, if you're trying to get a girl, they love clean things. Clean rooms, clean cars, clean men. So if you're having a girl over, make sure to take the extra steps, clean everything. I mean everything. Every room, everything. Even if you think she's not going to see it, just clean it. Make sure they love hygiene. They absolutely love it. Just clean, for God's sake. Anyway, advice over, back to the manga. Once Fuko allows her guest in, she cooks, and they both love it. Then she spills some water on Fuko, and Fuko's like, don't worry, I've got clean clothes in the cupboard. And then she opens the cupboard, and her entire mess falls out onto her. So actually clean. Don't just pretend you've cleaned, actually clean, because your life will be better, and the girl will love you. Maybe not love you, she'll... extra point, you won't give her the ick. In the morning, Fuko decides that she's going to up her game and start exercising and dieting, so she can be more like Sushi Lady. She doesn't know if Sushi Lady exercises or diets, she's like, she probably does, she's in shape, so makes sense. But she could have asked last night, she just didn't. But the exercising doesn't go so well, neither does the dieting. It starts off well, she eats half the meal she made, but then the other half, it looks so lonely. It wouldn't be fair to leave it on its own, so she eats it. But is she disheartened? No. Is she embarrassed? No. Is she going to keep on dieting? No. And then as some form of divine punishment, Fuko gets sick the next morning. She tells her mum that she's sick, and then she makes some really simple food and then goes to bed. The next morning, she feels way better, and her mum then arrives to make sure that she stops feeling better. She marches Fuko around the house, forcing her to actually clean, and then to thank her mum for this, she cooks her a meal. Her mum's really, really impressed, but with the rice cooker, not Fuko. Anyway, as some form of like cosmic karma, it starts raining as soon as she leaves, and then the next morning she's sick. However, I would argue Fuko's next day goes way worse than her mum's, because at work, Fuko's eating her convenience store lunch. Nothing wrong with that. no shame. And then she hears two girls that she really wants to sit with talking about how bad convenience store lunches are. Then Fuko gets embarrassed and runs away. This is like a common theme. So that night she swears, she's like, I'm gonna make something here, I'm gonna impress them tomorrow, and she sets the rice cooker to cook it overnight. It's a brilliant plan. In the morning she packs her lunch, she's so proud. She goes in, she sits down and she looks at her food and she's talking to her, she's hyping herself up. Only to realise that the girl she wanted to impress could hear her. Once again, she gets embarrassed, runs away, and eats lunch in the park while crying. Not a very good day for Fuko. And I pray what happened next was like a few days later, because the next day is her birthday. And if I was coming off eating the park alone crying, and my birthday was the next day, my year would be in shambles. But anyway, it's her birthday. She's spending it alone, and then there's a knock on the door. She opens it, it's Sushi Lady. And she's bought some cabbage, because now she has an entire field's worth of cabbage, apparently. Fuko's like, oh my god, you're coming inside. She doesn't really have a choice, so she comes in. Fuko shows her what she got for her birthday. She got a new hermit crab, which she loves very much. And then her mum comes, and her mum's like, oh, what's a pretty girl doing in your apartment? And Fuko's like, ah! Anyway, her and her mum cook together. They all eat together. It's great. Fuko's like, this was the best birthday ever, and it's a happy ending. Would I recommend this manga? Yes, but only if you have a rice cooker. If you have a rice cooker, don't even read it for the manga. Read it for the ingredients, because I skipped it because I didn't care. But there's step-by-step instructions on like how to cook every single meal she made, and she goes through like 11. If you want to learn to cook and you got a rice cooker, say you're at uni, just pick this up. Just read it. Why not? You'll get so much like recipes from it. You'll get a little story, and if you don't care about the story at all and you just skip the story and read the recipe books. But that's like, it's a recipe book with a little story, which is like a thing, I guess. I don't really know. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please remember to subscribe, like the video, comment down below, and recommend more mangas for me to read. Next week I'm gonna do Demon Lord Exchange, then the week after Kamiga Kill, then the week after Kakagurui, and then I don't know after that. So recommend me something. Recommend me something. I'll probably give it a look. Please subscribe, like the video, comment. I've already said this stuff. Subscribe. You got a sub. I've got loads of anime videos coming out. You'll love them. You'll love them. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye.